Wasteful people don't become grateful people just because you give them more of what they're already wasting. Let me say that again. Wasteful people don't become grateful people just because you give them more of what they're already wasting. Meaning you can't inspire somebody out of their habits of taking you for granted by continuing to pour from an already going empty cup. Now, let me give you a little backstory. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I was talking to a sister in my email recently. She's actually one of my Self-Crown VIP members. And she noticed that whenever she's dating a guy, she starts to feel kind of unsafe. She'll kind of fall back. She'll kind of start, texting him less, calling him less, wanting to see him less. Now, the most recent guy that she dated was like, hey, you be playing games. You be playing games. Now I can't get a hold of you, da-da-da-da-da. And the whole time, her reasoning was, I just didn't feel like he cared. I didn't feel like he was prioritizing me. I didn't feel like we was on the same page. So I fell back. Now, she didn't ghost him or try to be spiteful or anything like that. But I told her, hey, first off, you ain't got to really do all of this explaining because God designed you to start reserving power whenever somebody is draining you of yours. God designed y'all that way. Ladies, tell me something. Put I down in the chat. If naturally, without even trying to, you start kind of withdrawing a bit if a man is making you feel emotionally unsafe. That means no sex. That means you don't want to talk as much, right? Now, those of y'all who have done the opposite, more than likely you had to force yourself. And what you noticed was there was a lot of damage that came from that. You had sex with him even though he wasn't meeting your emotional needs. You kept cooking, cleaning, and doing this, that, and the other. Yeah, for a little while you can keep that up. But after some time, you start getting the feeling like you're used, like you're disrespecting yourself, like you're devaluing yourself. So I believe that God designed you guys to do that, not because it's okay to play games with somebody if you ain't getting what you want or you need to ghost them or whatever, but because you need to keep first things first. First things first means you have a priority list to how you apply your energy. And when you're dealing with a wasteful person, an ungrateful person, God designed you to kind of pull back a bit. Now, if that becomes a regular thing, you just got to be able to accept that this person cannot meet your needs. But in her situation, I told her, like I'm going to tell y'all, if somebody is playing around with you, you got to prioritize you. It's kind of like a phone battery. You ever notice that whenever your phone battery start going dead because you haven't charged it in a while, it'll go to low power mode, meaning it's only going to power the functions that are absolutely necessary for the phone to work, right? That's the exact same thing that we do. We were designed to do and that you should do as a man or woman, really, but I'm talking to women here. Because y'all have always had this, it's always been this responsibility on y'all to love men to a fault. Even if you ain't getting your needs met as a woman, you're supposed to do this, do this, do this, do that. And y'all have paid a hell of a price from your mental health, sometimes your physical health. But just like a phone will start to go to low power mode, there's a such thing as you as a woman needing to go to low power mode to where you function only what's essential. And what ain't essential is making sure somebody else's needs is met that ain't meeting yours. That's not essential. One thing that's not essential is pouring into somebody's cup who ain't pouring into yours. Just to see you run empty and keep on asking. And then at the end of the day, when you don't know how to pull back, when you don't let a man miss you, is essentially what I'm saying. Again, you start to lower the value on yourself. Think about anything that we can have access to and we ain't got to think nothing about. We ain't got to measure. You ain't got to buy none of that stuff. We don't value like tap water. People will leave the bathroom sink running, the bath, whatever. People will leave tap water running on accident and not think nothing about it. But think about, say, for instance, on the other hand, a diamond. That's top shelf. You got to work to get it. There's a limited quantity. The reason why it's so valuable is because there's only this much available. So the more you make something available to somebody, especially if they're already unappreciative, the less they're going to value it. So there's a lot of value in you as a woman understanding how to let a man miss you. Let him miss you. He starts playing with your time, playing games. I know the easy answer is, well, you just need to leave. No, that may not be what you immediately need to do. Maybe he's getting too familiar. Maybe he's getting too comfortable. So as a first step, you can let him miss you, see how that goes. And if he needs that every single time in order to start stepping up to the plate, then you go ahead and say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get gone. But it's too many of y'all who basically crucify yourselves for the times you let somebody waste your time. And now you feel like you should keep on doing it so they don't say that you changed up. Anybody telling you that you changed up just because you raised your standards up needs to get gone. That's you growing. And if they're not willing to grow with you, then you need to let them see you grow with somebody else who's willing to grow. Don't be sitting there feeling like you obligated to keep letting somebody play with you and run around and do whatever on you. Like I said in a previous chat, You make renovations to your home, the house rules may change. They can't come in there with they outside clothes, or they can't come in there with the same. You made renovations. So many of y'all are making renovations, but you're not changing the rules. And then those renovations that you're making, they getting undone. They getting ran over. They're getting torn down because people are still going by the rules you had when you didn't know any better. So when it comes to your time, you got to put a premium on your time. How do you put a premium on your time? By letting those who are not valuing it, who are taking it for granted, letting them miss you. Now, I personally believe the best way to handle all of this is to avoid people that you got to do this with to begin with. Anything more than once of having to do this, they ain't the one for you. Because there are men who get it. I talk a lot about brothers who take you for granted and all that kind of stuff, because that's just what it is. But also because there's another group of men out here who understand the assignment. They get it. They're done playing games the same way you're done playing games. They want you the same way you want them. They prepared for you the same way that you prepared yourself. They've reserved themselves the same way that you've reserved yourself. There's a reason why I'm always talking about not having all this patience and stuff. It's not because you don't need patience, because it's somebody who will take that patience and not play with it, like some of the other guys out here that you got to make miss you. Those are the evolved men. They've already evolved through experiences. They've already evolved through mentorship. They get it. They're not perfect, but they get it. Now, if you feel like you've done all of this work, you have no problem falling back from the wrong types of guys, but you're not coming across those evolved men. You're not able to attract them. It's just this pattern of people who don't deserve you. Click the link that you see pinned right here down in the comments. Get access to the masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You. It's an absolutely free masterclass where I break down strategies that have already worked for thousands of women on how to attract evolved men. So you don't have to do all of these coaching and game playing and stuff like that, which really is not a game playing anyway. Protecting your heart, protecting your time, protecting your peace is not a game at all. It's making sure that you avoid those who are about the games. But again, click that link that you see pinned down here in the comments, also in the caption whenever you back out, if you want to attract an evolved man. But back to what I was saying, sometimes you have to let a man miss you. Stop letting people use your loyalty against you. Use your persistence, your work ethic, your diligence, your staying power against you, to the point where they're playing with you, they're wasting your time, they're wasting your energy, they're wasting your sex, they're wasting your hopes, and you teaching them that it's okay to do that when you don't let them miss you. But those are just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll let y'all later. Again, get access to the masterclass pinned right here down in the comments. It's absolutely free. Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You, where I break this down over an hour while I drop nothing but knowledge, again, for free. It's also in the caption when you back out. I'll let y'all later. Y'all be good.